Stories that time forgot.
The giant that chose a slow-motion suicide just to keep every single cent of its paper crown. What Kodak buried in its basement for 20 years. Imagine walking through the corridors of one of the most powerful corporations on the face of the earth. You are in Rochester, New York, and the air is thick, with the scent of developing chemicals and industrial triumph. But beneath your feet, in basement level -3 of the Eastman Kodak Company's historic complex, lies a secret that would alter the course of technological history forever. You, as a consumer, were led to believe that Kodak simply didn't see the digital revolution coming. They told you they were slow, that they fell asleep at the wheel. But today, you are going to discover that this is an absolute fabrication. They weren't blind. They were the master architects of their own destruction. In that windowless room, known internally as Gamma Archive, there were no ordinary shelves. Only 3 people in the entire world held the key: the Director of Patents, the General Counsel, and the Chief Executive Officer. There, for 20 years, from 1977 to 1997, they guarded 57 cardboard boxes sealed with red tape that screamed danger. Have you ever felt that a massive corporation was hiding something from you just to keep draining your pockets? Well, inside those boxes was the evidence that Kodak invented the future and then decided to bury it alive. Inside box number 1, dated December 3rd, 1977, lay an 18-page memorandum. You could read it today and think it was written yesterday by a visionary. Dr. John J. McCann's strategy team predicted with terrifying mathematical precision that by the year 2000, digital sensors would be as good as chemical film, and their cost would be practically zero. The document stated that mass adoption would occur between 2005 and 2010, obliterating 90% of the film market. It wasn't a guess, it was a certainty. But instead of a celebration, the order was crystal clear: do not commercialize consumer digital technology before 2010. They wanted to squeeze every last drop of profit from the rolls of film that you and your family bought every single summer. Do you feel cheated? You should. While you were paying to develop your vacation photos, Kodak was using its leverage to stifle progress. In box number 12, we discovered how they pressured distributors in Europe not to sell the Sony Mavica camera, claiming digital quality was absolute garbage. In box number 27, Chief Executive Officer Kay Whitmore admitted they possessed a prototype superior to anything in existence, but he ordered it to be archived, because launching that camera would cannibalize Ector film sales. It was a corporate Game of Thrones where the hostage was the technological future of the entire world. To grasp the sheer magnitude of this gatekeeping, you must understand that Kodak patented every single piece of the puzzle. They registered everything regarding charge-coupled device sensors, joint photographic experts group image compression, and digital storage. They hoarded more than 1,000 foundational patents. They didn't do it to innovate, but to act as a bottleneck. They licensed low-quality technology to others so that digital photography would look subpar. In the eyes of the public, all while they kept the crown jewels locked in that Rochester basement. They even funded psychological studies to convince you that a photograph wasn't real if you couldn't touch it. They manipulated you into being afraid of letting go of the paper. The temperature in Rochester is usually freezing in the winter, with winds that cut through your face and the constant drone of heavy machinery. But inside the Kodak offices, the atmosphere was one of artificial calm. In box number 53, we found a presentation from 1996. That serves as a manual for corporate cynicism. They had a graph with 2 curves. The blue curve was the truth. If they launched digital now, they would save the company. The red curve was the deception. If they delayed everything until 2003, they would rake in an extra $12 billion in immediate profits. They chose the red curve. They chose the fast cash in exchange for sacrificing 140,000 future jobs. You might think a secret like this cannot last forever. And you're right. On January 23, 2112, a liar stepped into that dark basement. Kodak was in bankruptcy and they were looking for anything left to sell. Upon opening box number 1, the man knew he held the testament of a suicide. The contents were rushed to a high-security vault in Pennsylvania by the company Iron Mountain, far from prying eyes. But fate has a curious way of delivering justice. An anonymous brown paper package arrived at the Wall Street Journal containing copies of the most incriminating documents. The entire world then learned that Kodak didn't die from a lack of vision, but from an excess of greed. It is an irony that will leave you cold. On the very same day the lawyer discovered the Gamma archive, the company officially filed for bankruptcy. The corporation that was once worth $31 billion was sold for a fraction of its value to giants. To giants like Apple, Google, and Microsoft. Those patents Kodak used to block the future ended up powering the smartphones you carry in your pocket today. Rochester, the city that flourished thanks to George Eastman's empire, sank into an economic depression that it still carries. All because a handful of executives preferred their annual bonuses over the survival of their own legacy. Stephen Sasson, the man who actually invented the digital camera for Kodak, learned about the existence of this secret plan through the press. Imagine his pain realizing that he didn't lose the battle due to a lack of resources or talent, but because his own bosses decided it was better to die slowly. It is the tragedy of the short-term horizon. It is the poison of thinking only about the next fiscal quarter while the entire world is shedding its skin around you. Today, as you look at the photos on your phone, remember that this technology was ready nearly 50 years ago and was kidnapped in a basement so you would keep buying yellow boxes. This case is a warning for every modern industry, from energy to banking. The future cannot be buried forever. You can only decide if you want to be a part of it or if you prefer to become a cardboard box, sealed with red tape in a forgotten basement. The history of Kodak teaches us that short-term rationality is the fastest route to total extinction. Do you believe there are other tech or energy giants today hiding revolutionary inventions in their basements to protect their current bottom line? Your perspective is vital to us. So tell us what you think in the comments and let's talk about these industrial secrets. Like and subscribe to discover more stories time forgot.